Hey y'all, this is Cathy. Welcome back to my channel, Homespun by Cathy. If you follow me on Facebook and Instagram, and I'm gonna be starting on Pinterest soon, I've now changed my name across all social media to be Homespun by Cathy. It just makes it more consistent, and Homespun Market, would be a name for a store or something like that, which I don't have. But I am working on a website, so there'll be an announcement about that pretty soon. But I appreciate you joining me again. And in this video, we're going to pick up where we left off with my reclaimed cedar. Last time we made that table, and I had a lot of pieces left over that I showed to you, and I talked about doing some more breadboards and some different things. And then I changed my mind. It happened. So I took all the cedar I had, even some little small pieces, and I cut them into these little strips. I got a lot out of them too. A big pile. And I've got some modern farmhouse ideas. I like the look of like a darker piece, something painted black or charcoal and kind of highlighted with a pretty cedar. So we're going to build some things using the cedar, and then I have a hybrid project for you, which I call hybrid is when I have a thrifted item and then I can build something around it to make it have a different function or just enhance it. And so we've got one of those for you. Let's hit it. Guys, I accidentally lost some video footage here, so I'm just going to explain this first one to you. I used some pallet wood just to cut 4 wood tiles that I then attached to the craft board that you just saw. Sometimes you have to sand and work with several pieces of pallet wood to get a few good pieces. It's twists and all kinds of things. So here I used my high-tech measuring tool, my thumb, just to see how many tiles I needed. And it took 4, and then I simply cut a little frame around this out of the cedar. And it was pretty simple, so after I got all of that glued on, it was pretty much done here. It was a simple project, and I'm just going to show you the finished product, and then we'll move on to the other boards. So here it is, quick and simple. I put a little gray wash on the wood to blend it a little bit more and put the frame around it, and that was it. So these 3 boards I had already put some chalk paint on, and I have one long board there, just a cut off piece of a 1x6 and 2 smaller pieces here of just plywood, really, and I just painted them. So I wanted to just do a dry fit and just sort of play around with the pieces to get an idea of the designs. I knew I wanted to do something at an angle, and I started to put some pieces on the gray board, and then it occurred to me I wanted more of the gray to show. So I ended up just doing the corner angles on the gray board, and it hit me as I started to cover up the gray that I wanted to do that on the short black piece that I had. So I went ahead and started measuring because I got a little excited about how this was going to look. It was super modern, and I just laid them out with some space between them at first, and then I realized, I'm gonna push all of those together, and that's what I did. I knew I could use up a lot of that cedar this way, and I thought it would be a more modern look. So I just counted how many pieces I needed and went ahead and got those cut and ready for glue. Then for this long piece, I was laying out the pieces in a herringbone and ended up deciding to do a chevron top and bottom, but I knew I had a little piece of that cedar lid that would work as a shelf on the bottom. So once I had all of the pieces cut on my miter saw, I just laid them out beside the boards. I do apologize. I don't have the gray board. I don't know what happened to some of my video, but I'm still technically challenged, so it happens. But this one went pretty quickly considering how many pieces. I think it was 21 pieces total. Um, but it's still not a super long board. I think it's about 18 inches. Maybe you could get four good sized, 3 to 4 good sized house numbers. And in my mind, this one would be vertical because as you see, it kind of created these little pockets on the edges, but in the center, there's one consistent piece of cedar, basically. It's solid all the way down the center. So I thought it would look pretty if someone used it vertically, but you could use it horizontally. I just think vertically makes it look pretty, and that way the numbers don't overhang any part of the cedar, up and down. But it went pretty quickly here. I got it all glued down, and then I moved on to the long piece, and I just glued these pieces down and let them sit for 20-30 minutes so they were bonded, and then I could turn all the boards over and tack everything in with my brad nailer. So this one, again, I don't have the complete thing, but as you see there, I left this one a little distressed. I went back and sanded and distressed this board, and it looks really, really good. Kind of a boho look, actually. And I inverted the chevrons here to point down instead of up. So I put 2 at the top and 2 at the bottom. I don't have the full video. I used a piece of the cedar as a spacer between the 2 sets at the top and the bottom, and then I attached the shelf. Here are the finished boards. I really think the gray one turned out so pretty, and I love the distressed on the tall black one. It turned out really cute. You could actually sit that board. It will sit on its own if you wanted to just use it as a welcome board, or I think it would really look beautiful beside someone's front door hanging there with their numbers. That could do 5 or 6 numbers, and then have a little pot or something on the shelf. Really cute. So on this hybrid project, this is the before, just a piece of board and a grater. I had already put some homemade chalk paint in white on the grater. Again, I lost some of the footage, but basically I just sanded the heck out of that pallet wood and put some antiquing wax on it, is really all I did. And then it had a lot of splits in it. That's the only reason I put some pieces of wood on the back, just to make sure it didn't break. And then I just put a hanger on it. Little tip, if you're working with some small hardware, always use your needle nose pliers to hold those teeny tiny screws or nails to make sure you can get those nailed in. I had a tack hammer, and it didn't occur to me in the beginning, but so I got this one hammered in, and then I had to go get the tack hammer to get the other one in. They come in really handy if you work with these little small pieces of hardware, that I use for hanging or on picture frames. They work really well. I actually tried it with the big hammer and bent it over, so I had to fix it with the tack hammer. But once that was done, I had to smooth it out a little bit with the pliers, and I bent it in, but it works really well. So I wanted to get that on first before I started working on the front, because I wouldn't have been able to do it. So I just decided where I wanted to glue and screw
the grater into the board. Of course, my idea is someone could use it to hang a towel, so I want the full length of the handle to be off of the board. So I put a liberal amount of glue on the back of this thing. I actually had a little small piece of underlayment that I'll be showing you in just a second, and I glued that into the bottom where the handle is, so that if you put utensils, wooden spoons, or some floral in there, it wouldn't go all the way through. And then I realized I should have done that last, so I could have gotten a screw in at the bottom there. But the glue held it just fine. It's nothing heavy, that's going to be on there. So I put 2 screws in at the top, and the glue will just have to be what holds it at the bottom. Kitchen things, tins, muffin tins, cake pans, old baking pans, graters like this. They make really cute decor, farmhouse decor. I make signs out of baking pans a lot. You can chalk paint them very easily, and they really turn out cute, and I like to use them in the kitchen. So there's that little piece of underlayment. I just cut it to size and dropped it in from the top, and then reached in from the bottom and actually put the glue on the edge of the grater. And that's really the finished product there. So I just pop in some floral. I think that turned out really cute. I almost drilled holes and hung it with jute twine. I guess anybody can do that, but it turned out really cute, and I'll show you some of the staged photos that I have there with the utensils in it and a towel. Thank you guys so much for hanging in there with me and watching my videos, and I would really appreciate it if you would give me a thumbs up and also share my videos with a friend. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. I will see you next time.